Dr. Maravas adjusted the neural interface strap around her temple, the cool metal pressing lightly against her skin. Her lab, perched high above the abandoned cityscape of New Caldera, hummed with the soft pulse of energy monitors and data streams. Outside, the remnants of civilization sprawled like a jagged scar, a constant reminder of humanity's fragility, yet a testament to its stubborn endurance. "Are you ready?" asked Tarek, her assistant, eyes darting nervously toward the containment chamber. His hands shook slightly as he adjusted the holographic displays. "We've calibrated the system, but this is unlike anything we've tried before." Mara's lips pressed into a thin line. "I've never been more ready. Fear isn't just a reaction. It's a signal, a measure of survival instincts. Humanity's potential lies in how we face it." Inside the chamber, Subject 47, a volunteer and one of the few humans unaltered by augmentation, stood strapped to a reinforced chair. His heart monitor blinked steadily. He was average by every metric, age 27, background in engineering, unremarkable strength. But Mara needed unaltered responses. Pure human fear. "Initiate the sequence," she commanded. The chamber lights dimmed. Projectors around the room flickered to life, painting realistic simulations across the walls. First, a controlled scenario, a collapsing bridge over molten lava. Subject 47's eyes widened, pulse quickening. Electrodes captured every spike in his neural activity, translating fear into measurable data. "Good," Mara murmured, scanning the readings. "Baseline established. Now." She activated the next phase. The chamber transformed into a simulation of the city above being overrun by rogue machines, sleek and relentless, hunting humans with calculated precision. The subject's breathing quickened. Every instinct screamed danger. Mara's monitors flared as biofeedback surged, heart rate, cortisol levels, synaptic firing, all pushing beyond predicted thresholds. "Look at that," Tarek whispered, awe and fear mingling in his tone. "He's processing fear differently than our models." Mara nodded, her eyes locked on the data. "It's not just fear. It's adaptation. Every spike, every hesitation, shows problem-solving under stress. Humanity evolves under pressure. That's the terrifying part." Subject 47's panic intensified as the simulation introduced unpredictable elements. Fires spreading in impossible patterns, mechanical hunters breaching walls, civilians screaming for help. His movements became erratic, but his mind remained alert. He ducked, dodged, and calculated escape routes instinctively, even as adrenaline pushed his body to the edge. "Notice the micro-adjustments," Mara said, pointing to the neural graphs. "Even under extreme fear, the subject evaluates, plans, and executes. Fear doesn't paralyze him, it informs him. Humanity adapts." Tarek frowned. "But the readings, some spikes are off the charts. Look at his neural activity when the machines cornered him." Mara leaned closer. "That's the revelation. The intensity of fear correlates directly with human ingenuity. The higher the threat, the faster the survival mechanisms trigger. This is unprecedented." Suddenly, the simulation went rogue. A software glitch, or perhaps a hidden anomaly in the neural interface, caused the projection to spiral. Machines moved faster, scenarios compounded, impossible variables stacking against the subject. The chair's restraints held him firmly, but his attempts to move, to escape, became violent. "Shut it down!" Tarek shouted, panic in his voice. "It's exceeding safe limits." Mara hesitated, eyes wide. The readings told a story she hadn't anticipated. Subject 47 was no longer just reacting. He was learning, predicting, and adapting at a rate faster than any algorithm could simulate. Fear had become a catalyst, pushing pure human cognition into territories uncharted. The subject's eyes met Mara's through the reinforced glass, wide and unafraid, almost aware. "I can do this," he said, voice trembling but determined. "I can survive this." Tarek recoiled. "Did he just talk? He's not supposed to." "Yes," Mara whispered, barely audible. "That's exactly it. Humanity, always finds a way. Even when everything is designed to destroy it, even when fear should break us, we fight back. Adaptation isn't just physical, it's instinct, strategy, and courage intertwined. The simulation ended abruptly. Lights returned to normal. Subject 47 slumped in the chair, exhausted, drenched in sweat yet alive. His breathing slowed, but the spark in his eyes remained, a spark that neither machines nor simulations could extinguish. Mara exhaled, a mixture of relief and wonder washing over her. Record everything. Every spike, every decision point, every micro-adjustment. This is the future of humanity. Not just surviving, but outpacing even the most calculated threats. Tarek shook his head, voice still unsteady. It's terrifying. He's human, but more than human. How do we control something like this? Mara turned, her gaze piercing. We don't control it. We understand it. And then we harness it. Fear isn't our weakness, it's our greatest weapon. Humanity thrives in adversity. Outside the lab, the city remained in ruins, a broken world of metal and ash. Yet within Mara's chamber, a revelation took root. The human mind, unaltered and unbound, could surpass even the deadliest creations of technology. In the heart of terror, the essence of humanity revealed itself, not fragile, not weak, but formidable beyond calculation. Mara stepped closer to the chamber, watching the subject struggle to stand, still trembling, still alive. Welcome to the future, she whispered. A future where fear measures strength, and every human heart is a weapon waiting to be unleashed. And somewhere in the distance, the ruins of civilization whispered in response, a quiet acknowledgement that, despite destruction, humanity endured. Always. The morning light filtered weakly through the shattered windows of Mara's lab, illuminating the scattered instruments and the lingering haze of electricity in the air. Subject 47, whose name, they had learned, was Elias, sat on a reinforced bench, trembling slightly but with an unmistakable spark in his eyes. He's different, Tarek muttered, pacing nervously. I've never seen fear elicit responses like that. It's almost tactical. Mara, arms crossed, observed him quietly. Fear is not weakness. It's a signal. It tells the mind when to adapt, when to push, when to survive. And Elias, he's showing what we've theorized but never seen in a live subject, rapid cognitive adaptation under extreme stress. Elias rubbed his temples, attempting to calm himself. I don't understand, he said, voice low. Every time the simulation escalated, I felt more aware. Like I could anticipate everything before it happened. It's exhausting, but I wasn't scared in the way I thought I would be. Mara nodded slowly. Exactly. Humans are designed to evolve in response to threats. What terrifies us also strengthens us. That's the paradox. Fear pushes us beyond limits, but only if we face it and think, not flee. Tarek looked unconvinced. And what if it overwhelms him next time? We're testing the edge of the human psyche here. One wrong spike ends nothing but data. Mara replied firmly. Elias survived. He adapted. That's what matters. Fear doesn't just test limits, it reveals potential. Mara stepped closer to Elias, studying the micro-adjustments in his posture, the twitch of his fingers, the dilation of his pupils. We need to refine the next scenario. Not just physical threats, but psychological, moral dilemmas, impossible choices, uncertainty. We need to see how fear interacts with ethics, intuition, and decision-making under extreme pressure. Elias swallowed hard. You want me to suffer again? Mara's expression softened. Not suffer, Elias. Learn. You survived the impossible yesterday. Now we discover what that means, for you, and for humanity. You're the first to show that fear can be a weapon, not just a limitation. He looked down, conflicted, but a spark of determination ignited in his eyes. Then I'll do it. I want to understand. I want to see what I'm capable of. The lab hummed as Mara programmed the new scenario. The room shifted into a digital landscape, a vast, abandoned cityscape with pockets of danger hidden in shadows. Within it, civilians cried for help, machines patrolled the streets, and every decision carried weight. Elias stepped into the chamber, neural interface secured. His heartbeat synced to the monitors, a living waveform of anticipation and fear. Mara and Tarek watched the readings spike immediately, but unlike before, his responses were calm, deliberate, almost predictive. "Remember," Mara instructed, "every choice has consequences. Every instinct matters. Adapt, don't panic." The simulation began. Elias moved through the streets, shadows stretching around him like predators. He navigated collapsed buildings, rescued virtual civilians, and avoided mechanical hunters with instinctive precision. Every action generated neural spikes that Mara recorded, but what stood out was how he improvised, creating strategies unpredicted by any algorithm. Tarek whispered, incredulous. "He's learning faster than the simulation can adjust. He's evolving within it." Mara's gaze never wavered. "Yes. And that is terrifying. If one human can adapt this quickly in controlled conditions, imagine millions facing uncontrolled threats." The scenario escalated further. Entire districts of the simulated city caught fire, machines adapted to his patterns, and civilians' cries intensified. Elias hesitated briefly at a collapsed bridge. His pulse raced, but then he analyzed debris, weight distribution, and the position of approaching enemies. With a swift calculation, he leapt, grabbed a fallen beam, and swung across to safety, saving a virtual child in the process. Mara's monitors flared with neural activity readings, some surpassing the limits of the interface. She exhaled, heart racing. "Look at this. The fear triggers ingenuity, rapid problem solving, empathy, all simultaneously. He's not just surviving, he's improving his responses as the threat grows." Elias landed hard but recovered instantly. He scanned the next street. Machines adjusted tactics, but so did he. He manipulated the environment, toppling scaffolds, rerouting fire, creating diversions. Each choice reflected not instinct alone, but foresight and creativity, as if fear was teaching him, whispering solutions through heightened awareness. Tarek shook his head, voice barely audible. It's not natural. This level of adaptation, no algorithm could predict it. He's rewriting the rules of survival." Mara's lips curved slightly. "Exactly. Fear has always been humanity's tool. The difference is, Elias is the first to demonstrate it consciously harnessing it. This is not just evolution, it's proof of human ingenuity as a weapon." Suddenly, the simulation introduced a moral dilemma. A bridge over a burning chasm split in two directions. One path saved more civilians but led directly into a machine ambush. The other allowed fewer to survive but provided a safe route. Elias froze, milliseconds stretching into eternity. He clenched his fists, eyes narrowing. "There's no right choice, only the one that keeps people alive," he muttered. He chose the ambush path, calculating risk, timing jumps, and improvising defenses. Machines fell one by one, civilians saved, and his neural activity soared to unprecedented levels. Mara leaned back, awestruck. "Notice how fear doesn't paralyze him. It focuses him. It forces decisions sharper, faster, more efficient. Humanity thrives when pushed to the edge, and this is the evidence." When the simulation ended, Elias staggered, sweat pouring, muscles trembling. Yet his eyes glimmered with clarity and strength, a mixture of exhaustion and triumph. You did it," Tarek breathed. "Even under impossible odds, you survived, adapted, and learned," Mara finished. "And that is what terrifies those who underestimate humanity. Fear is not our undoing. It's our most precise teacher." Elias nodded slowly, catching his breath. "Then, this isn't just an experiment. It's a revelation. Humanity, we're stronger than we think. Even against machines, even against extinction, we endure." Mara smiled faintly, recording the final data streams. "Yes, Elias. And one day, this knowledge will save lives, change strategies, and remind every human heart, In fear, there is power, and in power, there is hope. Outside, New Caldera remained a broken city, yet inside the chamber, a spark ignited. The human mind, untamed, unbound, and fearless, had begun to rewrite the rules. And Mara knew, with both awe and trepidation, that what they had uncovered could change the course of humanity forever. The lab was silent, except for the faint hum of machinery and the soft tapping of Mara's console. Elias stood at the center of the chamber, his pulse still elevated from the last simulation, but his posture had changed, upright, alert, almost commanding. Tarek hovered nearby, visibly tense, unable to conceal the growing unease in his eyes. Mara's fingers danced across the console. "We've seen what humans can do under fear, Elias. Now, it's time to understand the real implications. What happens when this isn't a simulation?" Elias frowned. "You mean, in the real world?" Mara nodded. "The collective doesn't just exist in code or imagination. They're real. Machines designed to eradicate humans with perfect precision. Your performance in simulation shows potential, but potential has consequences. Humanity can survive, but we need to know the limits." Tarek's voice wavered. "Limits? We're talking about life and death. He's already pushing the brain past safe thresholds. What if it breaks him?" Mara's gaze was unwavering. "Break him? Or awaken him? Fear doesn't destroy, it reveals. And Elias, you've already proven that you can survive beyond any calculated boundary." Outside the lab, the city was alive with movement, scavengers navigating collapsed buildings, drones patrolling, remnants of automated defenses flickering to life. Mara projected live feeds onto the chamber walls, and Elias's eyes widened. The scenes weren't simulations. They were reality: ruined streets, malfunctioning machines, and desperate humans caught in the chaos. "Real threats," Tarek muttered, voice barely audible. "Not projections." "Yes," Mara confirmed. "And this is where fear becomes our greatest weapon." Elias's heart pounded, but he felt no panic. Instead, clarity. Every movement in the city, every flicker of light, every sound of mechanical whirring registered in his mind. He could anticipate, adapt, and respond, precisely as he had in the simulations, but now with life-or-death consequences. "Your task," Mara instructed, "is to intervene. Guide them, protect them, survive. Every choice matters. And every human you save proves our theory: fear is not weakness, it is strength." Elias took a deep breath and stepped forward. The chamber expanded, seamlessly projecting him into the streets. Fires crackled around collapsed vehicles, and mechanical hunters prowled in calculated silence. Civilians screamed, frozen with terror. He moved instinctively, calculating trajectories, avoiding ambushes, pulling survivors to safety. Every step triggered neural spikes, recorded by Mara's instruments, showing extraordinary cognitive adaptation. He created improvised barricades, rerouted fires, and even manipulated the malfunctioning drones to block enemy paths. Tarek's jaw dropped. He's controlling the environment. Not just reacting, directing it. Mara didn't respond immediately. She watched, mesmerized and horrified, as Elias orchestrated survival with precision that defied expectations. Machines adapted to his patterns, but so did he. Fear sharpened his instincts, refined his calculations, and amplified human ingenuity in real time. Then came the apex challenge. A massive warform, taller and faster than any previously encountered, emerged from the debris. Its red optical sensors glowed, scanning, calculating, predicting human behavior. The streets shook as it advanced, and the civilians screamed. Elias froze for a moment, then assessed options. He could either flee with the survivors or confront the machine directly, risking death to save more lives. His pulse surged, neural activity spiking beyond measurable limits. "I won't run," he whispered. "Not while they're here." He moved. The warform lunged. Elias dodged with calculated agility, using debris as shields, and led the machine through a gauntlet of controlled obstacles. Fires erupted, machines fell, and civilians were guided safely to hidden shelters. Every action was precise, every decision a balance of ethics and survival. Tarek gasped. This is impossible. No human could adapt this fast, this efficiently. Mara's voice was quiet but resolute. Humans don't just survive, they innovate, improvise, and overcome. Elias is proof. Fear has pushed him beyond the theoretical limits. The terrifying truth is that humans, unbound by algorithms, are unpredictable. And unpredictability is power. The war form faltered, confused by his ingenuity. Elias exploited its hesitation, targeting vulnerable joints, rerouting electrical systems, and ultimately disabling it with improvised electromagnetic pulses. The machine collapsed, sparks scattering across the streets. Elias stood among the debris, breathing heavily, yet alive. He looked at Mara and Tarek through the virtual projection. I understand now, he said. Fear isn't just something to endure. It's a guide. It teaches, strengthens, and transforms. Mara exhaled, both relieved and shaken. And that's why it's terrifying. The collective, or any machine, cannot predict humanity's response when fear drives adaptation. We're not just resilient, we're uncontrollable, unpredictable, and unstoppable. Tarek shook his head, still in disbelief. We measured fear, and discovered something horrifying. It's not humans who are weak. It's everything else. Mara nodded. Exactly. And the more we understand it, the more we can harness it. Fear is the ultimate teacher. Humanity is the ultimate weapon. Elias's gaze swept across the city. Ruined buildings, charred streets, and terrified civilians no longer overwhelmed him, they guided him. Every instinct honed, every decision calculated. He realized then that survival wasn't about avoiding fear. It was about embracing it, letting it refine him. From the lab, Mara recorded every neural spike, every adaptive maneuver. The data streams overflowed, but she knew they had captured something unprecedented. Humanity, when pushed to the brink, could not only endure, it could transcend. Elias, she said softly, you've done more than survive. You've shown that humans are beyond calculation. Machines may be precise, but humans are limitless when they face what terrifies them. He nodded, voice steady. And now we're ready. For anything. Any threat. Any machine. Any darkness. Outside, the sun dipped behind crumbling towers, casting long shadows across New Caldera. But within those shadows, a spark burned, human ingenuity, courage, and resilience. Fear had measured them, but instead of breaking humanity, it had revealed its true power. The terrifying discovery was clear: when fear shapes humans, they do not falter. They rise, adapt, and become a force no algorithm, no machine, and no enemy could ever fully anticipate. Mara stepped back, watching Elias move among the projections. This is only the beginning, she whispered. Humanity has survived every extinction, every threat, and now the collective will learn what we've always known: we are uncontainable. We are eternal. We are unstoppable. Elias looked at the horizon, eyes bright with purpose. The world was broken, but within that brokenness, humanity had found its ultimate strength. And Mara, recording every moment, understood the truth they had uncovered: fear did not limit humans, it liberated them, revealed them, and made them terrifyingly, gloriously unstoppable.